Fighter jets taking off for missile drills after South says North fired more than a dozen projectiles into international waters overnight. Asia expert Gordon Chang.
North Korea's act was extremely provocative. One of the missiles was fired south of the northern limit line in territorial water.
North Korean launches come hours after a demand the U.S. and South Korea stop joint military drills. But Chang says
the North Koreans are not ready to talk to either South Korea or the United States in good faith. And at this particular time, there should be rigorous action against North Korea.
With the midterm elections less than a week away, voters are zeroing in on the issues. Correspondent Robert Costa checks in from suburban Philadelphia.
It's the economy that has independent Chelsea Mitchell concerned. She owns this vintage where inflation has become a broken record.
Well, that a copy of Abbey Road on vinyl used to cost like $24.99 and has jumped $5. I'm voting for whoever has the small town in mind.
If you have a new home in mind, a mortgage will likely cost you even more soon. The Fed is expected to announce another interest rate hike today in its ongoing effort to put the brakes on historic inflation. Business analyst Jill Schlesinger.
It's likely that they are going to say we need another interest rate hike, probably a percentage point increase.
A drugstore chain has announced a settlement in the opioid crisis. CBS's Jim Krasula.
CVS Health has agreed to pay nearly $5 billion to state, local, and Native American tribal governments to settle opioid lawsuits. The deal would make the Rhode Island-based company the first major pharmacy chain to enter a nationwide settlement over how it handled powerful and addictive prescription painkillers.
Elon Musk won't let anyone banned from Twitter back on until after the election. That would include Donald Trump. Musk says it'll take weeks for his newly acquired company to come up with a clear process and harassment on the platform. Prospective billionaires are lining up to buy tickets for tonight's Powerball, like these two guys in Jackson, Mississippi.
If I win $1 billion, I'm headed straight to buy a yacht in for the Bahamas. I told my wife I'm going to buy me a helicopter. She said, what you going to do with a helicopter? I said, well, I can go from this place to that place.
Tonight's prize totals $1.2 billion. S&P futures down 4. This is CBS News.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car and home insurance, so you only pay for what you need. Visit libertymutual.com to learn more.
My name is Kim Coonan. I have been a lifelong resident of Bay 96th District House Seat and Lansing. It has been a long campaign and my opponent has gone negative. But here's the truth. I've been a county commissioner for 20 years. During that time, our savings and fund balance has nearly tripled. The county has no outstanding debt and our pensions are fully funded. No other governmental entity has a better financial record than that.
Paid for by the committee to elect Kim Coonan, state representative.
RocketGrabPlus.com. This week's deal on RocketGrabPlus.com is for Kokomos. You are going to get a family fun package. The package includes a game card with $62.50 in credits, 2 12 pizzas, and 2 pops, plus 5 attractions. If you're looking for something fun to do with the family, Kokomos is your one-stop shop. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
I always wanted to learn Spanish, but I never thought I'd have the time. Then I discovered Babbel.
Babbel's lessons are fun. They only take like 10 or 15 minutes, and in 3 weeks, presto, you're speaking another language. Like magic.
I love that Babbel's lessons aren't just robots talking. They're voiced by native speakers, so you get the... And they're designed by real language teachers, so you learn how to have real-world conversations, things you'll actually use.
3 weeks. It's incredible. After 3 weeks, I'm on vacation in Paris, having a conversation in French.
There's all kinds of ways to learn. Use Babbel's podcasts or games or videos. You can even join live classes with a language teacher.
If you want to learn a language, there's no faster, easier, better way than
Babbel.
Babbel.
Babbel. Babbel. Évidemment. Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
From the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Sunny skies and 39 degrees at 9:05. Good morning, I'm Mike Percha. Police are investigating a shooting that occurred Monday in Flint. Around 9 p.m., police responded to the 2100 block of Midway Circle for a report of a possible shooting. According to police, a 29-year-old woman was found shot inside her residence. She was pronounced dead at the scene. There are currently no suspects in custody, and Flint Major's case unit is investigating the incident. Anyone with information on this or any, contact the Major Case Unit or Crime Stoppers at 1-800. Members of the Bay City Public Schools Board of Trustees have rejected a proposed book ban at Bay City Western High School brought forth by a group of concerned parents. The Bay City Times reports during a special meeting last night, the board unanimously accepted the recommendations from a committee formed to review a list of LGBTQ books the group claims are pornographic. The committee recommended not banning the books. Board members say there are far more pressing issues the district faces, like busing, low third grade reading levels, and bullying, than a list of books with which a smart. BCPS Superintendent Dr. Stephen Bigelow says it's the first challenge to reading materials during his time at the helm of the district. He says the concerned group of parents have also been connected to anti-mask and anti-vaccine movements against the district during the pandemic. Construction on Liberty Bridge in Bay City has reached a major milestone. The last deck pour has been completed and work continues on other areas of improvement efforts. To celebrate the progress, Bay City Bridge Partners is holding a Coffee with the Crew event Thursday morning from 9 to 9:30 at the Doubletree Riverfront Grill and Lounge. The event serves as an opportunity for the community to get updates on bridge construction and future reopening plans for the Independence Bridge. Coffee and pastries will be made available for those who attend. WSGW News Time 9:07.
This is the Michigan Corn Connection with Corn Marketing Program of Michigan Executive Director Jim Zook, who says work continues on growing demand for ethanol.
We're actually working with many other partners. It could be partners in EPA, the auto industries, the airline industries, the petroleum industries. We work across the board in order to make sure that we can get ethanol included into those fuels. We look for where those trends are. We look for what the products are to address any barriers to entry of those products. The checkoff program is extremely important for our growers. Without that, nobody would be there fighting for these markets for our corn. And that's why it's important to keep the corn checkoff program going, and especially when we have renewal votes coming up. This is the program that helps get you the extra dollars that you need to stay profitable.
Find out more at micorn.org.
WSGW News Time 9:08. The weather forecast is next. Governor Gretchen Whitmer has announced stronger protections are now in place for kids thanks to changes resulting from Wyatt's Central Registry for Child Abuse and Neglect. In May, the governor signed the bipartisan bill to allow parents in schools and child care facilities to more easily get information on individuals' histories so they can better protect children. The law went into effect Monday. Wyatt's Law is named after Wyatt Rioltz, a child who was abused by his father's girlfriend and who had a previous history of child abuse. His mother, Erica Hamill, has worked to get the new law passed since 2014 so parents could be made aware of past abuse by caregivers of their children. The law provides greater access to the Central Registry for Child Abuse and Neglect maintained by the Children's Services Agency. It's another round of suspension for MSU football following the brawl at the Big House on Saturday night.
In a written release, Michigan State University Athletic Director Alan Haller and head football coach Mel Tucker announced that 4 additional members of the Spartans football team, Malcolm Jones, Justin White, Jacoby Windman, and Brandon Wright, have also now been suspended indefinitely for their alleged roles in Saturday night's tunnel brawl at Michigan Stadium. The move now brings to 8 the total number of players suspended following the attack on 2 Michigan players after the Wolverines' win over the Spartans Saturday night. In a press availability, the actions of some of his players are not indicative of the culture of the program.
We're not here to make any excuses for the behaviors Saturday. They are unacceptable.
John Hewitt for the Michigan News Network.
WSGW News Time 9:10. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast.
fog possible in parts of the area today, mainly before noon. Lots of sunshine during the afternoon. Highs will top out near 66 degrees. Winds south around 5 miles per hour. Tonight, mostly clear. Lows drop to 46. Winds remain south around. Thursday, patchy fog possible in spots again before noon. Otherwise, mostly sunny. Highs warm into the upper 60s to near 70. Thursday night, clear to partly cloudy. Lows fall back to 54. And then Friday becomes mostly cloudy, mild with highs reaching 70. I'm Phil Jensko with the WSGW Weatherology Forecast. Right now it's 37.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WS and online, WSGW.com.
And a good morning to you. Welcome to another edition of the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW from my Saginaw Spirit Home studio. Nice to have you with us on this Wednesday morning. Later on, we'll have open phones. And at 11 o'clock on Focus, we'll look at Rocket Grab Plus. But for the first part of this hour anyway, we're going to find out what's happening down the road in Midland, Michigan. And to tell us about that, the Midland City Manager, Brad Kaye, is with us this morning. Brad, good morning to you.
Good morning to you as well, Art. Good to be here.
Good to have you here. So we are now in November already. As you look back at this year in Midland, what kind of a year has it been?
Yeah, well, that's an interesting question. It's certainly been a busy one. We've had a lot of construction work going on around the city, and I listen to my engineers. Every project will be wrapped up by hunting season, so November 15th is our deadline. So that'll be good. We've certainly had an active summer downtown. The downtown Commons area was just sort of hopping. We had a lot of people out every Thursday and Friday in particular, and Saturday nights were busy. A lot of activity, a lot of events happening around the city. So it was a good summer that way. And we're certainly enjoying this weather that's letting us extend our outdoor time a little bit here into the fall.
So you mentioned a lot of construction projects around town. How were they met in terms of labor and supply chain?
Well, a lot of ours are contracted out, so it's a matter of the contractors that we have to find in order to come in and do it. So for the most part, we were good. We had one project that went a little bit late that I understand their reasoning was supply chain issues, but beyond that, every other project was completed within the time we had allowed for it and allocated for it. The materials, again, there was a lot of them. We had a lot of construction companies around town doing it, but they all got done and completed. And so thankfully, some of the road congestion from those is starting to ease up a little bit for us here.
Brad, has there been any decision on the old farmer's site down by the Tridge as to what's going to happen to that?
So there has. It's actually not a city decision. The Midland Business Alliance is the operator of the farmers market, and they have made the decision that they're not going to be returning the farmers market to that location. So the sort of historic site, the traditional site that they've been operating on, they determined it just didn't meet their needs, whether it be congestion, building, the structure itself, the circular nature of it, the electrical needs that they have for a modern farmer's market. All of those were deficient. And so they've decided they're going to look elsewhere for another permanent location. So as I understand it, they're going to continue to operate off the Dow Diamond parking lot for a year or two until they come up to a final solution. And in the meantime, the city is moving forward then with a riverfront park plan. We had sort of put that on pause until we understood what the MBA was going to do. Now that we know that, we're kind of re-engaging and restarting that a little bit to come up with a future vision of what the whole area around the Tridge and the old farmers market structure should look like, not only now, but well into the future.
The old farmers market structure suffered quite a bit of damage during the flood, didn't it?
It has suffered damage over a lot of floods is really probably the best description for it. And it's an older structure design. And so it's a matter. There's some historic significance to certainly everybody, and there's some emotional attachment to it. But frankly, the structure is definitely beat up, and it's not going to survive all that much longer. Now, that could be years, but it'll be part of the review when we look at the Riverfront Park and whether or not it stays, and if so, in what form.
So the Riverview Park, describe what this is about and what it's going to be like.
Yeah, it's really a matter of taking a look at the whole area, starting at the base of the Tridge and kind of going both east and west, heading towards Emerson Park in one direction, more towards Dow Diamond in the other. And it's really looking at the whole riverfront. It's want it to look like in the future, how we want it to function. We, of course, have the farmers market structure that we have to do something with. The spray park, which is just down the way a little bit, is aging, and it's in need of some significant improvements and updates. And so the question is whether things are in the right place and whether the right things are down there. So, of course, it's the tie and sort of the head, if you will, of the Père Marquette rail trail for us here in the city. And so how that wanders and moves through that park area and how it interfaces with everybody else that's in the area at the same time, all of that's a part of it. And, of course, we bring things down there like our music festival series. We put a lot of people in there at different times. River Days is another big event that happens. And whether or not it's properly set up for that or not is something that we're examining right now, so that when we put some money back into this, we make sure we do it well and wisely.
Got a time frame on it?
Well, not necessarily. Like I said, we kind of put on pause a little bit through the summer because the NBA was really making up their minds whether or not. So I think they announced that towards the end of August, somewhere about then. And so since then, we've been re-engaging with the public, looking for input and feedback with that. But we probably will have a plan in place by no later than the spring and possibly earlier than that, so that at least we know what we're aiming for. And it's not a plan that in all likelihood we're going to implement this year or even next, but it'll be something that we move towards as we implement each new project.
So one last question about that area. What kind of shape is the Tridge in, and who's responsible for the Tridge?
So in the latter part of your question, the Tridge is the responsibility of the city of Midland. So it's basically our bridge, although it's a Tridge. And so the maintenance of that is something that we do, and we continue on an ongoing basis. We are lucky and fortunate enough that we do have some endowment funds. So the Community Foundation and some of our local foundations have been extremely generous with us when we see big staining projects or deck upgrades or replacement work on it. It's largely coming from sources that are that the Tridge is important to them, and they've helped us out with that. As far as the condition of it, it's in good shape. We obviously did a pretty big update and repair to it a few years back here, which included replacing all of the decking, the handrails, and so forth. We've stained it. All of that was done as preventative maintenance work, and so it's in great shape, and we intend to keep it in that kind of shape moving forward.
It actually survived the flood pretty well, didn't it?
It did. We had an earlier flood. We actually had some problems because some of that work was ongoing, and the barge that was there for the work floated up when the flood took place. I think this was the 17th flood, and there was a little bit of damage, but fortunately, I should say, we got away without any significant damage. So this flood from 2020, we really got away without any significant.
There's been a lot of talk about mitigating flood damage in the future. Where are we with that?
Well, it all depends what front you're talking about. So there's a lot of approaches really going on, and a lot of people working and putting in a lot of time and effort to try to come up with some solutions. So certainly well upstream of us, we've got the Four Lakes Task Force working on the dams themselves, and that's an extension of the county doing that work. The Midland Business some funding together with the county's emergency manager to bring in the Army Corps of Engineers. They are looking at essentially from the dam downwards towards the city and downstream even from us to see the hydrology of the river itself and what needs and what challenges future events might face as we go into that. Separately, there's the County Commission just considered, as a matter of fact, a report that the Midland Business Alliance commissioned from the Spicer Group, an engineering company, to look at challenging creek-based floods. So the Snake Creek, Sturgeon Creek, those areas within the city of Midland, which flood largely from the fact that the water can't get down them and into the river because the river floods. So they're looking at some fairly extensive engineering response, which would include things like sheet piling and putting essentially a retaining wall in with some floodgates in it that might help those areas. So the county commission just endorsed that in terms of looking for some funding for it, and city council will be considering it. The election takes place.
Is that one of those, shared costs where the city participates with the county?
That's a question to be answered, I guess, is the best way to put it. Art. It's a lot of money. We're talking well north of $100 million.
Oh, wow!
Just for that project, and so the hope is that the state might be able to help us out, and then depending what we and whether the feasibility of the project even comes about is the other question. But assuming the state comes through with some money, that's one option. If not, then we've got to look around in different locations for funds.
All right, hang on, Brad. I want to take a break, come back one more segment with Brad Kaye. He is the city manager of the city of Midland.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar. Whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners, it's the memories you'll make. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
Virginia, Kansas, Berkeley, Ventura, San Francisco, San Diego, Oakland, and Grand Junction, Little Rock, Springfield, Maryland, and Washington. Paul Young has been everywhere, man. But he hasn't spent a lot of time in Michigan. Paul Young has been away from Michigan for nearly 40 years, living in California and all around the country for decades. Now he's spending over $1 million of his fortune to buy a congressional seat here in mid-Michigan. Paul Young has an agenda. Not ours. Young's agenda would give tax breaks to millionaires like himself while raising taxes on the middle class and putting Medicare and Social Security at risk. And Young is on the side of wealthy drug companies against lower prescription prices for families and seniors. Paul Young is not from here, and he's definitely not for us. Paid for by House Majority PAC, theHouseMajorityPAC.com. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. House Majority PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
You want to be a showstopper like The Miz? You want to be awesome? Then you'll want to have a game plan. Whether you're a champion or a bettor, you've got to be responsible. The DraftKings Sportsbook offers all the tools you need. You can set a realistic budget and bet with time, deposit, and wager limits so you can have a personal game plan for having fun while being responsible. I practice safe bets, and so should you. Visit DraftKings.com/responsible-gaming to learn about all these tools and more.
Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/responsible gaming for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources.
I'm Neil Cavuto, and Business Report.
Payroll processing company ADP says 239,000 new jobs were created by private employers in October. The number is slightly stronger than predicted, though ADP says the report is not a forecast for the monthly employment report for October, which is released on Friday. The Federal Reserve is expected to raise its key interest rate by 0.75 percentage point later today to fight inflation. Estee Lauder shares are slumping after the beauty giant lowered its forecast for the year. It says COVID, supply chain disruptions, and the risk of a global economic slowdown all could weigh on its business, though Estee Lauder's summer quarter was stronger than forecast. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
Starting to realize your small business is a little overwhelmed by the holiday rush? Get all of your shipping and mailing under control with Stamps.com. Sign up right now, and you'll be printing your own postage in just minutes with discounted USPS and UPS shipping rates. Just go to Stamps.com, click the mic at the top of the page, and use code BUSINESS for a 4-week trial, plus free postage and a digital scale. That's Stamps.com, code BUSINESS.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station. 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Yeah, I'm so stressed.
Our business is growing. We've got people all over now.
Ooma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending Ooma and their all-in-one phone, video, and collaboration solution.
Ooma?
Yep. Switching to Ooma is a cinch. Just $24.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Feeling it? Visit Ooma.com. That's OOMA.com to learn more. Ooma. Smart communications for the smarter business.
Why wait to save? Dell Technologies Black Friday event arrives early with select deals on top tech to power business productivity. The savings start now with up to 48% off performance business PCs powered by 12 processors. Don't forget special pricing on the latest monitors, docks, and accessories, including free shipping on everything. Call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL for Black Friday deals. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
Michigan football is on WSGW.
4th and 1 for Michigan State. Peyton Thorne hands it off to Berger, and he's not going to get it, John.
That was great.
Ball's down, kick is on the way, and good. Jake Moody, 54 yards, hands it off to Corum, hesitates up the middle and into the end zone. Touchdown, Michigan, fires it, it's intercepted by Rod Moore, and that will do it.
The Paul Bunyan Trophy is back in Michigan's possession after the Wolverines routed the MSU Spartans. The 4th-ranked Wolverines must now keep their focus as they visit the Rutgers Scarlet Knights this Saturday night with coverage beginning at 6:30 p.m. on 790 News Radio WSGW. Kickoff is 7:30. Michigan football is brought to you by Lingle Equipment Company, Truck and Frankenmuth, Zimmelmatic Irrigation Solutions, North Bloomfield Properties, and Wolf Files Ace Hardware in Saginaw. It's number 4 Michigan at Rutgers, live Saturday night at 6:30 on 790 News Radio WSGW.
Your home for Michigan Wolverines football is WSGW.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW. On this Wednesday morning, talking to Brad Kaye, city manager of the city of Midland. I think I ask this question every time we talk, Brad, but where are you with the ARPA funds?
So we're actually still sitting on them a little bit. And what I mean by that is that as all of these other projects kind of play themselves out and we're looking at funding sources, for instance, on some of the hard infrastructure work from the state, we really want to be careful about it to make sure that we don't spend them frivolously and that where we have a need, if we can't get funding sources somewhere else, we'll use the ARPA funding at that point in time. So at the moment, we're sitting on it. We used a little bit towards the library restoration. We used a little bit towards our golf course, a little bit towards our own airport, Barstow Airport here in town, and then also Riverside Place, our senior living facility.
Is there consideration for a budget replenishment? Part of ARPA was you were allowed to replenish your budget.
So there is. We actually had it, of course, a lot, partly from COVID, partly from the flood, that were reimbursed through different FEMA grants, for instance. And so we utilized those to kind of keep us whole and try to fill a lot of the shortcomings that we might have otherwise had. And so we're actually in pretty decent shape with that. All that said, we may use a portion of them towards that as well because, again, no matter what we do, no matter how much reimbursement we got for partial services, it doesn't replace everything that we lost either during COVID or during the flood time.
And you're up against a time restriction, right? You have to spend the money by a certain period of time?
Yeah, I'm not sure the date right offhand. We're not getting into a crunch just yet. Probably early in the new year, be sitting down and with council and talking about, okay, how do we actually want to allocate the rest of the funds available? Keeping in mind, we're not in a situation like some of our neighbors are. We received about $5.4 million total in ARPA, so we're not into having tens of millions of dollars that we have to spend and then find a way to get them expended before those deadlines approach. So the timeline isn't so much our issue. It's just a matter of using them as wisely as we can and leveraging them to make the most out of them.
So, Brad, let me ask, putting ARPA money aside for a minute, as you look at the city of Midland, what do you see as its biggest need right now that you need to address?
Yeah, it continues to be infrastructure. It's not the sexy stuff that anybody wants to hear about, but we certainly have continuing infrastructure needs. We have continued flood threats within the city that have always been there. But it seems with the severity and frequency of weather events that it's becoming more and more of a challenge that has to be met. And sort of doing what we've always done isn't necessarily the right solution any longer. So it'll continue to be things like we just talked about, that $100 million plus project. Does that do the work that it would intend to do in terms of protecting a few hundred homes within the city subject to flooding? We've got, just like every other city, we've got aging infrastructure that's been in the ground for decades, and it doesn't last forever, and so we have to be aware and continue to move forward. We also have buildings, quite frankly, that are older. We've got one that sits down by the Poseyville Bridge, what we call the Annex Building, part of the old 4D site, and it's in a floodway and a floodplain down there, and it floods almost every year, it seems. And we've got to find a new location and spot for that. And out of that, we run all of our horticultural operations, a lot of our ball field maintenance work. And so those are needs that we are going to have to continue to move forward.
Now we're in November. Are all the downtown streets open now?
They are. So we had, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, we had a great summer. A lot of people downtown, they really enjoyed the closed streets, the 2 blocks of it. And the beginning of October, make sure I got my timeline right. Beginning of October, we reopened them. So vehicles can get back down there. People are still down there and they're busy. They're just not out in the middle of the street like they were before.
Brad, what makes a healthy downtown? And the reason I ask that is, a lot of communities, they lost their downtowns because of malls and all of those things. Midland still seems to thrive. What is there about that downtown?
I'll first say we have challenges like others do. We've got some empty storefronts that we would really like to re-engage and re-energize by having some businesses move into them. But that said, I think downtown really comes down to, in part, the treatment and in part the attitude that the community carries towards it. But it also, in part, is what do you do and what do you plan and what do you schedule for that? And why do you give people a reason or not to be in your downtown area? And it's a challenge. And it's why we put a lot of time and effort into things like the Commons and into the social districting that goes on down there, so that there's a reason for people to want to be down there. And our goal is a fun time, but it's also to introduce them to the businesses that are along Main Street, and that they can see who's down there and what services they offer and provide. And then maybe the next time that they want to go out, either to dinner, perhaps they'll go downtown, or maybe if they need to go out and get some sporting goods, they'll stop at a store that's down there, or they know some of the confectionery stores that are there, and they'll think about downtown and go and patronize it. So yeah, you have to make it attractive. You have to give them a reason to be there, and then it's really up to the businesses after that to step up and do their part. And we've got a great set of business owners in downtown Midland that really help us along that way.
Last question. Dow has always been a strong supporter of the region and the area. How has DuPont and Corteva stepped in?
That's a great question. So obviously, you hinted at the fact that Dow was our largest employer for many, many years, and then with the merger with DuPont and then split into Corteva and DuPont and Dow, they're a different business entity than they've historically been, and the relationship is a little bit different because of that. Dow continues to participate quite heavily and well, and continues to support and fund, in some cases, different activities around the city. Corteva has really stepped in, frankly, and done a lot of great things and become a corporate presence that we weren't quite sure was going to be the case when they took over. But they've become, for example, one of the primary sponsors of the Midland Blooms project, which is the flower planting along Eastman that takes place every spring and gives us some great color and flowers along one of our major road corridors every summer. And then DuPont, it's a little different. We're building relationships with them. They've also stepped forward, though, and they've done things like put benches out and recognize different activities there. They've participated in Blooms again as another example by getting out and planting, something as simple as that. But that's a relationship that with their corporate headquarters from us here, it's a relationship that's still building at this point in time, and everything's going well. It's heading in a good direction, but it's just taking us a little bit longer is all. But they've all been great good partners, and we look forward to that continuing.
Well, Brad, look, I want to thank you for your time this morning. As always, it's always fun talking to you, and I always learn something. So we'll do it again down the road.
I appreciate it. I don't think we're back until January, so won't see you till after the
All
New
right,
Year's.
we'll see you next year.
Have a good one, Art.
All right, Brad, thanks a lot. Bye-bye now. Brad Kaye, he is the city manager of the city of Midland. We thank him for his time. We'll move on to our open phone format now. Whatever you'd like to chat about, 989-752-6111.
The 33rd Annual Dow Tennis Classic returns to Midland November 1st through the 7th. Professional female athletes from around the world compete in the WTA 125 event with a purse of $115,000. General admission tickets are free for 17 and under and as low as $15 for adults. VIP tickets with Grand Slam dining and adult beverages all week long. Come see some of the top tennis professionals in the world. More information and tickets available at dowtennisclassic.com.
Kristen McDonald Rivet's allies were caught red-handed lying about Annette Glenn. A news outlet reported, quote, a TV station took the rare move of removing an ad attacking Miss Glenn because the ad was proven to be false. The truth? Big spending politicians created record inflation and cratered our economy. Michigan families pay the price. Radical Kristen McDonald Rivet supports the Biden-Pelosi trillion-dollar spending bill that would crush Michigan families, making inflation so much worse. And she voted to give herself a taxpayer-funded pay raise while voting to raise taxes on us. Soaring inflation, rampant spending, a destroyed economy. You pay the Biden-Pelosi Rivet way. Kristen McDonald Rivet, radical and wrong for Michigan. Paid for with regulated funds by the Senate Republican Campaign Committee. Authorized by Annette Glenn for State Senate.
Enjoy the best of yacht rock for the holidays. So ladies, the Little River Band. Let me take a look at you now. Same show, same night, Ambrosia. Saturday, December 17th at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Tickets start at $32. On sale now at the box office or etix.com. Party and play with Little River Band and Ambrosia. Details at SoaringEagleCasino.com.
Want to pay less for gas? Stop at any one of your local 26 Forward Shell convenience stores where you'll save at least 5 cents a gallon on every fill-up with Shell Fuel Rewards. Earn even more cents off when you make purchases in-store on some of your favorite snacks and drinks. Stack the savings, and you can regularly save 10, 20, 30 cents or more off each gallon of gas. That's Fuel Rewards and your area Forward Shell convenience stores. And remember, when you want to pay less at the pump, go forward.
At EasyCater, food for work is our thing. Maybe that's why we get orders from 93% of Fortune 500 companies. So what's up with the other 7%?
Everyone, meet our newest employee, Susan. She has an idea that is going to revolutionize our food ordering.
Hi, Susan. So nice to meet you.
Unfortunately, she just gave her notice, and today is her last day.
I'm good. Companies order through EasyCater? Who knows? Order 24/7 from over 95,000 restaurants on EasyCater.com. EasyCater, food for work. It's our thing.
Art Lewis here for WSGW, inviting you to explore America's last frontier, Alaska, from August 30th to September 10th, 2023. You'll fly from Detroit to Fairbanks for the start of a 12-day land and sea adventure. Ride the stern wheel of discovery as you learn about Alaska's diverse culture and rich history. Then it's on to Denali National Park for a tundra wilderness tour. From Denali, you'll ride a luxury dome rail car to Talkeetna and stay at the Talkeetna Alaskan Lodge. The next day finds you driving to Whittier to board Holland America's New Amsterdam for a 7-night cruise. You'll see Hubbard Glacier, Skagway, Juneau, and Ketchikan before sailing the Inside Passage to your final destination of Vancouver, BC. Past experience tells us this will sell out fast. For a brochure, send your address to me and I will forward the brochure to you. Send to artlewis@wsgw.com. That's ARTLEWIS at WSGW.com. Alaska is calling.
Thank you for being with 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW in the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios.
All right, we're back with you, and as I mentioned, it's open phones for the remainder of the show right up till 11 o'clock this morning, 989-752-6111, and that number's been dialed by Al in Midland. Al, good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, I remember the reconstruction they did on the Tridge a while ago, and they hit it all apart. I even took some pictures. They did that decking, real nice job on it. They've updated the lighting with LEDs, and so they're ongoing with that.
Yeah, that's a unique. It really is a unique structure.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is the fundraising with that. It was raised in a lot of interesting ways. They went to the schools, and kids were opening their piggy bank, dimes and pennies and stuff like that. And that was part of the fundraising because the Midland Community Foundation wanted to have the children have a connection to part of the giving for that.
Well, that's a learning experience. That's a learning experience too.
That's right. And so all the little kids, when they grew up, they had a piece of that they could say, hey, I helped with the construction of it or the helping build it. So I didn't know if you knew that or not.
Yeah, I seem to vaguely remember it. It wasn't forefront, but I do vaguely remember it.
We got a bunny rabbit in the backyard.
Oh, we had a deer. We had a deer a couple hours ago. So
yeah. Well, I've seen those wander through tour in years past. They've come down from the woodlot areas. They come in, and I've had them come right through the backyard. And I live in the city. Of course, we've had deer down on the circle that have crashed through windows of storefronts down there.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, this is the time of year where they're moving because the pressure is on them.
Yeah, they sure are. Hey, this is very unusual. I had another call from a survey group calling me, asking about this is very unusual for me to have 3 surveys within the last 2 months where they're calling up. I think they're worried. I think the Democrats are worried. The liberals are worried.
They were all Democrat surveys?
Yeah, I think they are. I think they are. The tone that I'm getting is that these are Democrat survey groups that are surveying me, and they seem to be quite worried. It's very unusual. One survey is normal, but when I get 3 of them, I think the other party has figured out Velcroing Biden and Pelosi to their opposition. Paul Young is the agenda of Pelosi and Biden, and I think they're Velcroing Biden's unpopularity with the inflation and the handling of Afghanistan. The whole works. Everything that Biden's done has soured.
Well,
and I think they're
the reason
Velcroing.
You got the calls is somebody sold your name on a list.
Oh, I'm sure they did, but it's unusual to have 3 surveys in one midterm campaign type season.
We've had quite a number of those calls. I don't participate. Either I tell them I'm in the media or I just hang up on them.
Right.
But
I understand that, but in years past, I've only had 1 survey for that time, and 3 is very unusual.
I think by the number of calls we've received and all of the other ways they get at you, it seems that politics is a lot more aggressive this year.
It sure is.
So
it sure is.
I mean, in 6 more days, then the commercials will go away. Now, I'm sitting here, a member of the media, and the media benefits from all of this. We understand that because they do.
I understand it too.
They help the budgets quite a bit come this time of year. But we all reach a point where enough's enough.
Yeah, I get a little upset when they stack them together during Jeopardy or something.
They have no choice.
One of the shows I watch, and you got 4 or 5 of them in a row.
You have no choice because they have to put them someplace. They can't turn them down.
I know.
So
I hear you.
You get them all stacked up. I laugh a lot when you get, for example, you get a Young and a Kildee back to back.
Right,
and
exactly.
You go, well, that wiped that out. Yeah.
What good does that
But
do?
Listen, that's the nature of the beast. They don't have much choice.
Half of us are hitting the mute button or we're flipping to a different channel for a little bit. The other day I missed the last part of Jeopardy because I flipped when the commercial came on and I didn't want to see it, so I didn't come back in time to watch the end of it. So,
oops.
Oh, well. Well, you have a nice morning there, sir.
All right, Al, thanks. Take care.
Bye now.
Bye now. And that opens the lines for you. Yeah, it's a real catch-22 for the media. Realistically, as I've said many times, media is a business. and that's found money. And there are different rates, understand, too. If you are a politician and your campaign is buying the spots, within the political window, it's like 60 days before the election, you get a special rate. It's the lowest chargeable rate on the station. However, PACs, political action committees, who have all of those issue ads or even ads against politicians, but they're not authorized by the candidate, they pay full rack rate. And for the media, obviously, being in the business of selling advertising, it's a boon year. You know, anytime you have a major election, and this year, because of the contentious nature of the midterms and because of some of the issues on the ballot, it's been very, very dynamic for the media. No two ways about it. At the same time, understand that it's very disruptive to our schedules and to our logs, and to say nothing of all of us who have to be here to hear it. You reach a point where, oh, come on, enough is enough already. I can't wait till next Tuesday for a couple of reasons. A, I get to go vote. That's the most important one. But B, come Wednesday, this will all disappear. And then we'll be scratching our head, what are we going to do now? But of course, the nice thing is it leads into the Christmas season. And, you know, typically that's a decent time of year for the media. And I will say this, Christmas, ooh, is it coming earlier and earlier, or is it my imagination? We'll talk about that a little bit. I got to take a break first. We'll be back right after these notes.
I'm Jacob Hilliker, Bay County Road Commissioner. I believe we deserve more local road funding for the amount of taxes we pay downstate. We all know working people in Bay County have always had to shout a little louder to be heard in Lansing. That's why I'm here. I'm a proud union member, business owner, and I operate a small farm. Time for the National Partisan Nonsense of the Week. I'm here to do a job. Vote Hilliker. Paid for by Jacob Hilliker for Bay County.
We all know clean fields lead to strong yields. That's why XtendFlex soybeans offer triple tolerance to dicamba, glyphosate, and glufosinate to control more weed species than any other soybean system. Even tough weeds like water hemp, Palmer amaranth, and mare's tail. Get the control, flexibility, and proven performance you need so you can focus on the business at hand instead of beating back weeds. Explore the Roundup Ready Extend crop system. Claim based on approved EPA herbicide labels as of January 2021. Read and follow pesticide label directions, grain marketing, and other stewardship practices.
As a farmer, growing your business is more than just a 9-to-5. It's your life's work. That's why the Roundup Ready Extend crop system goes all in to help you stay on top. Backed by decades of innovation, offering the latest trait technology and triple herbicide tolerance, plus more weed species controlled than any other soybean system. Because you mean business, and so do we. Learn more at systemofchoice.com. On approved EPA herbicide labels as of January 2021. Read and follow pesticide label directions, grain marketing, and other stewardship practices.
At Charmin, we heard you shouldn't talk about going to the bathroom in public, so we decided to sing about it.
Super Mega for your backside. Shake your booty, do the Charmin slide. Super Mega make you feel alright. Everybody do the Charmin slide. Long-lasting TP gets everybody going. Leaves booties clean and totally glowing. Shake your booty, do the Charmin slide. Change your rollers, go with pride.
Charmin Super Mega Rollers on the roll less often. Enjoy the go with Charmin.
2000, 2008, 2022. When it comes to the economy, those are some scary years. .com crash, housing crash, and the roller coaster we're going through right now. It's a dangerous time to not know your numbers. But over 31,000 businesses have the confidence and clarity they need because they rely on NetSuite by Oracle financial system. NetSuite gives you visibility and control of financials, inventory, HR, planning, and budgeting. Manage risk, get reliable forecasts, improve margins. Everything you need all in one place. So, how do you prepare for uncertain times? The answer, NetSuite. NetSuite helps you identify rising costs, automate your business processes, and easily see where to save money. That's why 93% of customers say they improved their visibility and control when they upgraded to NetSuite. What are you waiting for? NetSuite NetSuite is offering a one-of-a-kind flexible financing program. Head to netsuite.com/radar. netsuite.com/radar.
If you have certain chronic conditions such as heart disease,
Asthma.
diabetes, and you're 19 years of age or older, 52,
36.
42, you may be at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. Reported side effect was pain at the injection site. For additional common side effects and full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com. I'm going to ask my doctor
About getting vaccinated.
with Prevnar 20.
You have the chance to win a $1,000 gift certificate playing the WSGW contest. You enter the contest online at WSGW.com. When you enter, you choose one of the participating businesses where you would use your $1,000 gift certificate if you're drawn as the random winner. Businesses to choose include Bay Landscaping, Crane's L&M Appliance Center, Designer's Touch Decorating in Freeland, Hartel Heating and Cooling, Begic Nursery and Garden Center, Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery, Wolfiles Ace Hardware, Cluck Nursery, M&R Garage Doors and Openers, A Plus Plumbing, Midland Sand, West Side Decorating Center, Maple Hill Nursery, Roof Max, and Air Conditioning, Delta Door Sales, Jolt Credit Union, Morse Clark Furniture. You can enter up to once per day and get bonus entries too. Look for the Holiday Home Makeover Contest box in the upper right-hand corner when you enter online, WSGW.com.
All right, we're back with you on the Art Lewis Show. Before we go back to our discussions, I want to remind you about something else going on. This is our annual Food for Families campaign, and it's presented this year by Pioneer Sugar. We're asking you, our loyal family of radio listeners, to make non-perishable food donations to help those in need. The Salvation Army locations in Saginaw Bay City and Midland will collect and distribute the food. And you can make donations through Thanksgiving weekend. Here are the Food for Families donation locations. Crane's L&M Appliance Center at 3260 Bay Road in Saginaw. Vassar Building Center at 1013 West Saginaw Road, top of the hill in Vassar. Thumb Bank on Wilder Road in Bay City. Maple Hill Nursery, Eastman Road in Midland. Wolfiles Ace Hardware, 5818 State Street in Saginaw. Michigan Sugar Company, its processing plants in Bay City, Seaboing, Carroll, and Croswell. Capocco Credit Union with 3 locations, 3262 Cabaret Trail in Saginaw, 1479 Straits Drive, that's US 10 and Mackinac, across from McDonald's in Bay City, and 4265 Wilder Road in Bay City. Begic Nursery, 5993 M84 Westside Saginaw Road in Bay City. The Maytag Store's 3 locations, 3800 Tittabawassee Road in Saginaw, the Kroger Plaza in Frankenmuth, and the Maytag Outlet Store, 7400 Gratiot in Saginaw. And finally, our printing partner, Rymold Printing at 5171 Black Beak Drive in Saginaw. That's off Cardinal Park Drive behind Anderson Eye Associates off Tittabawassee Road. So, Food for Families, we appreciate it. Also be listening. The Eddie Band Christmas concert returns this year, and we'll be collecting food there too. So you'll be listening for information on that coming down probably in the next week or so. We'll have more information on that. Something to watch out for today, and I put this under the category of you can't win. You're darned if you do, you're darned if you don't. And it's going to cost us one way or another. I'm talking about the fact that the Fed will probably have another massive rate hike today.
Your message to
Now, what is the rate hike? What does that mean? All right, be quiet. Why does it do that? The Apple Pro tablet talks to me when I don't want it to. The interest rate is used by the Fed to try and control inflation. They want to knock inflation down to 2%. Right now it's at 8.2%. They got a long way to go. And the reason I say darned if you do, darned if you don't, because one way or another, it's going to cost us. If they don't do something about inflation, then inflation eats away at our buying power. At the same time, if they keep raising rates to try and control inflation, it eats away at our buying power because credit card interest goes up, the mortgage for homes goes up and takes buyers out of the market. We've heard stories about that. People have been saving for a long time to buy a home, and just about the time they're ready to go out and get it, the interest rates get jacked up, and now they're priced out of it, and they got to save more money and do it all over again. And that's a continuing process. When the feds raise the rates, that affects the way banks borrow from each other and how much they have to pay each other, which they then pass on to you. Higher mortgage rates, higher credit card rates, so forth. So, no matter what you do, you're going to pay for it through inflation, through interest rates. Loans will become more expensive. So it's one of those darned if you do, darned if you don't things. 2:00 this afternoon is when they will announce their rate hike, and then at 2:30, the Fed chief will make his comments. Mr. Meyer will make his comments about it at 2:30. Everybody's been saying all along it's going to happen. I mean, they back when they first started raising the rates, there was speculation that at least probably take 6 or 8 times to really raise the rates enough to knock inflation down. But that's a lot of interest. We came out of practically a zero interest period. Now, understand too, the other side of this is that typically when all of this goes up, so does your rate of return on your savings, for example. Basic savings accounts at banks and credit unions, have received practically nothing over the last several years. But now, because of interest rates going up, the interest paid on those accounts also goes up. So you get more on one hand and you take it out of your pocket and pay out more on the other hand. No matter how you work it out, we're the ones that pay for it. Always. And I just looked, I am way late for a break here, so I better do that right now. The Bay City Noon Optimist Club's 30th annual Travel and Adventure Film Series begins Monday, November 7th at 7 p.m. at the State Theater in downtown Bay City. Join us for Rick Ray's East African Safari. Saying the word safari to any traveler instantly conjures up images of savannas, lions, jeeps crossing vast landscapes, and the luxury of a bygone era. This and more is explored in Rick Ray's new film, East African Safari, from planning a trip to where to go and what to see. We'll explore the safari destinations of Kenya and Tanzania, topping it all off with a trek to visit the mountain gorillas of Rwanda, included in our East African Safari, Masai Mara, Abochelli, Kilimanjaro, Ngorongoro, Tanjuri, and the Serengeti Plains, just to name a few. Season tickets available in advance at Herder Music or the State Theater for $25. Individual show tickets are $10. Series sponsored by ABS Retirement Planning Advisors, Paramount Rehabilitation, Summit Printing, underwritten by Independent Bank, theater sponsored by Rivers Bend Rehabilitation.
Z is for Zara. Re-elect Justice Zara for Michigan Supreme Court. Tough on crime. Independent. Above partisan politics. Justice Zara believes in the rule of law and will not legislate from the bench. Justice Zara is your champion for private property. For Zara, Justice Zara. Re-elect Justice Brian Zara to the Michigan Supreme Court. Paid for by Michigan Realtors with regulated funds, not authorized by any candidate.
All right, that'll do it for this hour of the Art Lewis Show. We have an open line hour coming up right after the news, which is next.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Borrowing money is about to get even. The Federal Reserve is expected to raise interest rates today, this time by 0.75 percentage point. The goal, to bring down the worst inflation in 40 years, but it's pushed mortgage rates above 7%. Correspondent Nancy Chen spoke to one man who's in a bind.
For about a year, Andrew Till tried to sell his New Jersey home in search of more space.
It's like every weekend, our broker calling and saying, can you get out?
But even after 10 lucrative offers, he and his family took it off the market. He says there are few options for them to buy a new house.
Borrowing costs would more than double.
President Biden's getting set to make a final push for Democrats. Correspondent Ed O'Keefe.
He's heading west next, notably to New Mexico and California, blue parts of the country where Democrats are in need of a presidential lift to turn out like-minded voters and make sure that their governor candidates, their House candidates hold on. He has said throughout this cycle, I'll do whatever is needed to help, and I'll stay away if that helps. But it has meant a more muted campaign schedule and set of appearances for him across the country.
Pennsylvania's two Senate candidates are zeroing in on the Philadelphia suburbs as each tries to make headway in a very close race. CBS's Robert Costa is in Lang.
Pennsylvania, northeast of Philadelphia, is where Republican kicked off his final push for the Senate. Are you happy with where America's headed? As Democratic opponent John Fetterman Tuesday reiterated that he is ready to serve as he recovers from a stroke.
This campaign is all about anyone that's ever been knocked down, that has had to get back up.
North Korea has fired more than 20 missiles towards South Korea, triggering air raid sirens and evacuations. One of those missiles fell into waters south of the maritime border. Asia expert Robert Kelly.
It's about joint U.S.-South Korean air drills. Those were halted for president, but they have since returned, and the North Koreans have often said they're sort of practice for invasion with these tests.
New numbers show many women who want abortions have to travel some distance to get them. Here's CBS's Wendy Gillette.
The research finds 1 in 3 women of reproductive age in the U.S. now live over an hour away from the closest abortion clinic. It used to be less than a half hour before the Supreme Court overturned the landmark abortion decision. That's according to a study published in the Journal of the American Medical Association.
The Dow is down 134 points. This is CBS News.
Make the hiring process work for you. With Indeed's end-to-end hiring solution, you can attract candidates all from one place. Start at Indeed.com/credit.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
Michigan radical Kim Coonan's taking a page out of Biden's playbook. What's Coonan's game plan? Tax is possible. As County Commissioner, Kim Coonan raised taxes on increased spending by more than 300%. Coonan even supported a $2 trillion increase in government spending. And now, with prices increasing and inflation skyrocketing on Michigan families, the last thing we need in the State House is Kim Coonan continuing to call an all-out blitz on our pocketbooks. Michigan can't afford tax and spend radical Kim Coonan. But Timmy Beeson believes we deserve to keep our hard-earned cash. That's why Beeson is working to lower costs and stop the out-of-control inflation that's strangling our economy by reducing auto insurance costs and cutting taxes for struggling families. So more of what they earn. Timmy Beeson for State Representative.
Funds by House Republican Campaign Committee authorized by Timmy Beeson.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
Why would you pay full price when you know that you can save money at RocketGrabPlus.com?
Check out our deals going on right now from Kokomo's Family Fun Center, West Side Decorating, Third Gen Tire and Service Center, Applied Training Solutions, and Style Encore. Half off? Yeah, it's true. And it's all at RocketGrabPlus.com.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
Live 100.5 and 790 Newsroom. This W News.
Sunny skies and 39 degrees at 10:05. Good morning. I'm Mike Perchuk. A fire in Bridgeport Township last night claimed the lives of 2 people. Saginaw County Central Dispatch reported the fire around 9:20 p.m. in the 2700 block of Larry Tim Drive. Initial reports say the victims were elderly, though no further details have been provided. The cause of the fire is under investigation. A suspicious death in Gratiot County is also under investigation. Police say a 48-year-old inside a home in the 300 block of North Main Street in Ithaca Monday. Cause of death has not been determined, though an autopsy has been scheduled. Police say there's no danger to the public at this time. Possible suspects have not been identified. The greater demand for battery systems has created a greater need for workers to produce those batteries. Exalt Energy and Freudenberg Battery Power Systems in Midland will hold a job fair tomorrow to help fill around 65 open positions, including electrical engineers, software engineers, field service technicians, and more in their headquarters and manufacturing facility. Anyone 16 years of age and older can bring their resume and learn about the company's products and tour the 460,000 square foot facility. Candidates can complete job applications and initial interviews during the event, which runs from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Registration for the event, as well as a full list of available positions, can be found at xaltenergy.com/careers. WSGW News Time 10:07.
Spirit fans, Thursday, November 3rd, your Saginaw Spirit take on the Kingston Frontenacs at the Dow Event Center, looking to extend their home win streak to 3 games. The puck will drop at 7:05 p.m. Don't you miss a minute of the action. You can get your ticket .com or go in person at the Saginaw Spirit office on State Street. Check out all the new merchandise for the new season while you're there. The Spirit are one of the highest scoring teams in the OHL right now. Game on, Spirit fans.
George Thorogood, out of the ball, shaking down the thunder. Wednesday, December 28th at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. Plug in and rock hard. Tickets start at $45. On sale Saturday at the box office and Tix.com. The New Year's pre-party starts here. George Thorogood and the Wednesday, December 28th at Soaring Eagle Casino.
WSGW News Time 10:08. The weather forecast is coming up. The family of Porter Burks, a man fatally shot during a confrontation with Detroit police, is suing the city for $50 million. 5 unnamed officers are also named in the wrongful death lawsuit filed by attorney Jeffrey Feiger. The lawsuit claims gross negligence and assault and battery, among other things. Burke's death last month was recorded by police body cameras as officers pleaded with him to drop a knife he was carrying. Police say Burks had schizophrenia. In response to the lawsuit, it will continue advocating for mental health resources. Nearly 600,000 deer hunters are getting ready for firearm deer season, November 15th, and 42% of the vehicle deer crashes happen in Michigan during October, November, and December. AAA Michigan's Adrian Woodland has advice if you see a deer while you're driving.
If you see one deer, slow down. Chances are there are others nearby. And if a crash is unavoidable, don't swerve, brake firmly, hold onto the steering wheel, stay in your lane, and bring your car to a controlled stop.
52,000 vehicle deer crashes in Michigan in the last year, with 10 people killed. It's never too early to think about the holiday season, but especially for those in need. It's a familiar sight each holiday season, and the good cause continues with the annual launch of the Salvation Army's Red Kettle Christmas campaign. This year's theme, Love Beyond Christmas. The nonprofit has an $8.2 million fundraising goal to help feed the hungry, house the homeless, and provide gifts for needy kids. The words Beyond Christmas are meant to remind folks that need extends beyond December 12th. When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom at 752-0790. It's 1010. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW weatherology forecast. Mostly sunny skies here for today with a high into the mid-60s. Winds out of the south around 5 to 10 miles per hour. And then for tonight, mostly clear skies with a low around 46. Thursday, sunshine, high of 69 degrees. Then on Friday, mostly cloudy skies, a high around 71. Saturday, we'll have a chance for some rain showers here late. 70 degrees. Then by Sunday, sunshine, high of 61. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with the WSGW weatherology forecast. Currently, it's 40.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the chance to ask your questions and express your opinions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com.
And a good morning. Welcome back. Hour number 2 of the Art Lewis Show here on WSGW. Nice to have you with us on this Wednesday morning. And it is also the day of the $1.2 billion Powerball drawing tonight. You heard me right. Jackpot's up to $1.2 billion and could go higher depending what gets sold today. What would you do if you won the $1.2 billion? Let's start with how you would take it. Would you take the lump sum, or would you take payments? I would, if I were ever that lucky, and I certainly don't count on it, that's for sure. Yeah, don't plan your retirement around it, folks. I would probably take the lump sum. And I would take the lump sum, pay the taxes on that, put it in the bank, and live off whatever interest it generates. And never have to worry about the principal, because that's going to generate a lot of interest, folks, you know. So I just, you know, it's a staggering number. Absolutely a staggering number. The payout, if you took the one-time payout, close to $500 million. So anyway, I just thought I'd bring it up. Tonight's the night. Dennis is in Saginaw. He's on the phone this morning. So let's say good morning to Dennis. Hi, Dennis.
Hi. Yesterday, you had a caller by the name of Scott who called in about the Pelosi assault.
Yep.
And he was full of just lies. First of all, there was no homosexual tryst with this thing. If Scott gets over
it's all been debunked.
Maybe he'll be a happier boy. Secondly, there is video on the break-in. There's an article in the Washington Post about the problems with manual monitoring of these houses.
Yeah, the problem was there is security video of the break-in, but the central area where they're all watched, there's like 1,800 of these cameras in San Francisco. They weren't looking at that one at the time.
This is Capitol Police monitoring.
I'm sorry?
This is Capitol Police monitoring.
Well, the one I saw was local. The one I saw was local, but yeah, there probably is.
The officer in D.C. quickly pulled up additional camera angles from around Pelosi's home and began to backtrack, watching recordings from the minutes before San Francisco police
Yeah, all right.
arrived.
Don't read me the article. Don't read the article to me. Just tell me what you think.
What I think? Scott lies. It's plain as
Well,
day. And you need to stop taking his calls.
Scott, why should I stop taking his? Then I have to stop taking yours. He has his
Well,
opinion.
I don't
You
think-
have yours.
I rarely call you because your show is a sewer.
Thank you very much. In other words, anybody's idea that doesn't agree with yours is garbage. Is that
No,
right?
Your show is a sewer.
All right.
It has nothing to do with it.
Sure. Thank you very much for coming down into the sewer with us. We appreciate it.
Well, I contribute my shit too.
Now you just lost yourself with your language. Goodbye. Sorry, Dennis, but we don't allow that. All right. Listen, everybody is entitled to their opinion. That includes Scott, whether he likes it or not. And he's entitled to his opinion. What he's not entitled to do is use language like that on the air. So there you go. Because I will remind you all, I don't think we've done this in a while. It is not a right to be on this show. This is not a right of free speech for you to come on this show at any time. This is a privilege that's offered to you by Alpha Media, my company, the ownership that owns us. It is a privilege. And that privilege can be withdrawn at any time. You don't have an inherent right to be on the radio. You have the right to speak your mind, but you can open your front door and shout it, and you've spoken your mind. We don't have an obligation to provide you with a platform. We do it as a privilege. And that goes for all who call. And we try and treat all the same. He doesn't want me to take Scott's calls because he doesn't like what Scott says. Well, that's censorship. So if I don't like what he says, we won't take his call. That's the way it works. Richard is in Au Gres. Richard, good morning.
Well, good morning, Arthur. I love your show. I know it's not Open Line Friday, but can I say something about Proposal 3?
Sure, by all means.
Okay. What you see on TV is just the tip of what the proposal is about. It's a very long proposal. The abortion issue is just part of this proposition. It's unbelievable the amount of pork stuff that's in this bill, and there's grammar wrong in it. There's stuff in there about the Board of Regents. I don't understand how they can say there's one bill that is going to change the Constitution about a woman's right, and then they add a whole bunch of other stuff in there. I don't understand it, how the bill is being about abortion when there's other things in there that I'm sure nobody has read, or very few people have read. And WXYZ down in Detroit actually had it on their website, and you could read it. But as you scroll through the bold print of the first part of the bill, the health issue, the women's health or the person's health issue, then it goes into all these other things after that. And I think we're being misled by this proposal. And I would say, read it. We got to start over. Let the legislature legislate. Don't pass the buck off on advertisements on TV to vote yes, vote no. It's terrible. Just a terrible, terrible problem.
Well, you can find it too. Let me extend this conversation a little bit.
Sure.
If you go to the Secretary of State site, you go to mi.gov /SOS and click on voter information, and there is a line where you can click on to get the language of the ballot proposal and all of its intricacies which you're referring to, and you will be surprised at how much is in there and what it deals with.
Yeah, it's crazy. Section 51. The way I read this section 51 is if the government sees this, that there's a health problem or something, that they can decide what to treat. Period. It's up to the government. So you're right to taking the jab or not taking the jab. To me, the way I read it, I'm in real estate, so I'm always around words. And it's mind-boggling to me how they can pervert the English language the way they are with these bills. And there's grammatical errors in that proposal 3. So, and being a Christian, I can't vote for it anyhow. And I'm hoping that my fellow Christians will step to the plate and go and vote no on this proposal 3.
Well, there's going to be.
I mean, don't go to your Christian church, but that's just me.
Well, I look at it differently.
Let
me throw this out and see what you think about it.
Sure.
I don't say vote the church way or any way. I say vote your conscience.
Correct.
Vote your conscience, and let your conscience be your guide. And in some cases, they're not going to agree with us. In other cases, they are. So that's
fine. That's fine. This is still America, and you have your right to your religion.
And do it in an informed way. That's what I do ask. You're absolutely right. Don't just watch the commercials and come to a conclusion. Do a little research on your own. Do a little research.
So many people do. I mean, I have.
Well, I know that, but that's always been the way.
Friends that literally they don't like me anymore because of my opinions on things. And I'm going, whatever happened in this country that you can't have your own opinion?
Yep. No, I've said that.
I'm perplexed.
I've said that many times that we've lost the ability to disagree but still be friends. Somehow, if I don't agree with you, you must be a bad person. Well, that's ridiculous. That's nonsense.
And personally, I'm not a churchgoer.
Well,
I don't go to church.
You don't have to be a churchgoer to be godly.
No,
you can still have your religion and believe in what your religions teach.
Right. And, well, whatever. You got a great show. Always love it.
So, how's the interest rates in the real estate market these days?
6.5. It's going to kill it.
Going up.
I'm afraid.
And going up.
I'm afraid it's going to be a big one in my heart. I hope it's not, but
probably be another 0.75.
Be a real big problem coming here soon.
Be another 0.75, I'm guessing. So.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, I've been doing this for about 1999. I got my license, and
wonderful.
I've seen the up and down a few times now, and I see the down coming again, and I feel bad for these young couples now that they were marginal when they bought $1,000 a month heating bills.
Well, you know what's amazing to me, Richard? What's amazing to me is how fast things change. It wasn't but a few months ago. People were paying thousands of dollars over asking price to buy a house. Now,
that's kind of calmed down now.
Oh yeah, a lot. All right, my friend. Listen, thanks for calling. I appreciate it.
Good, Arthur.
Have a good one. Bye-bye now. All right, let's see. Russ, hang on. We'll get to you right after these notes.
Bernstein and Bolden on the bottom of the ballot. Bernstein and Bolden on the bottom of the ballot.
What are you doing?
I'm getting ready to vote for the Michigan Supreme Court and need to remember the candidates who follow the Constitution, protect our rights and freedoms, and are fair and impartial.
Bernstein and Bolden?
Right, and because the race for the Michigan Supreme Court is found in the nonpartisan section of the ballot, near the bottom or the back, depending on where you live, you have to look for it.
Got it. So why Bernstein and Bolden?
Bernstein and Bolden will stand up against corruption in Michigan, believe in equal justice under the law, and vote and ensure our votes are counted fairly.
What if I just vote straight ticket? Does that work?
No, because the Michigan Supreme Court races are nonpartisan. You still have to find Bernstein and Bolden on the bottom of the ballot.
And I can vote for both Bernstein and Bolden?
That's right. You get to vote for 2.
Now you got me saying it. Bernstein and Bolden on the bottom of the ballot.
Bernstein and Bolden on the bottom of the ballot. Related funds by Justice for All, not authorized by any candidate or candidate committee.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20. So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. I'm asking about Prevnar 20 because there's a chance pneumococcal pneumonia could put me in the hospital. Age 65 or older, you may be at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal. Approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. The most commonly reported side effect was pain at the injection site. For additional common side effects and full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com. I want to be able to keep my plans. So I'm asking my doctor about getting vaccinated with.
I'm Susan Lee, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks open modestly lower. Investors are waiting for the Federal Reserve meeting to wrap up later today. The latest reading on the job market came in stronger than expected. Payroll processing company ADP says private 239,000 new jobs last month, and wages increased 7.7%. CVS Health reported a better than expected quarter, excluding its settlement with U.S. state and local governments over the handling of opioid painkillers. Its stock is higher. Walgreens Boots Alliance also confirms it's part of the settlement deal. Reuters says Walmart also is settling. Yum Brands, parent company of Taco Bell, Pizza Hut, and KFC, saw sales increase in its stock is higher. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, beat the largest timeshare company in federal court and has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare information guide at 800-393-1881. That's 800-393-1881.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
How did hiring the right person become so difficult? Well, it doesn't have to be. Alpha Digital already has targeted databases built to very qualified candidates that are just looking for the right opportunity. That allows you to target exactly who you're trying to reach with a budget that is you. Learn about all the possibilities by going to alphamediadigital.com today. Find your next star employee with alphamediadigital.com.
The WSGW Morning Team.
The WSW online poll, the next Michigan governor, Election Day, Tuesday, November 8th, the statewide candidates and proposals, the top of the ticket, of course, the Michigan governor. You will find 6 candidates and their running mates listed. We are just going to, for our poll purposes, list the candidates for governor only. Our poll, again, will end at 9 o'clock on election night, the official time that all the polls will close in the state of Michigan. So our poll question is, who are you going to vote for Michigan governor? From the Democratic Party, Gretchen Whitmer.
We're going to work together to drive our state forward.
From the Republican Party, Tudo Dixon.
Making certain Michigan's brightest days are yet to come.
From the Libertarian Party, Mary Bozuma. From the U.S. Taxpayers Party, Donna Brennenberg. From the Green Party, Kevin Hogan. From the Natural Law Party, Darrell M. Simpson. Yeah, head to WSW.com, scroll down the homepage, find our poll box, and make your vote that way.
The Morning Team, weekdays 5:30 to 9 on WSGW.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW. Back to our phones. Russ is in Bay City. Russ, good morning.
Good morning, Art. Well, I called the $1.2 billion. But before I get to that, I would just like to, after what that one caller called in, I'd like to thank you. I said, it's really been nice that all these years we've had this outlet in this area to express our opinions, whether it's me or Carl or Scott or anyone else that wants to call in and vent or just agree or whatever, wherever we're coming from. And it's nice to have that, and I appreciate it.
Thank you. And, that's exactly why we do it.
And as far as the $1.2 billion,
yeah,
I will have a ticket, and if I win it, I'm out of here. The Villages.
Well, now where are you going if you're out of here?
I'm going to the Villages.
The Villages in Florida.
Florida.
Yep.
And I'm going to have me at least 100-foot yacht where I'll spend most of my time.
And you'll have a...
I'll drive around in a golf cart.
I was going to say, you have to have a golf cart. Make it fancy.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be cool. I'm going to have one that looks like the Munster Mobile. And yeah, I would love it. I would be, spend the rest of my days on a boat for the most part.
Yeah, well, listen, there's nothing wrong with that if you can afford it. It's the way to go.
It's like, I'm hoping.
Yeah, well, we'd probably, if I won it, I think the first thing we would do before we did anything is consult some professionals.
Oh, absolutely.
And probably form a family corporation so that our sons can share in it and their daughters. And
I'd want to make. I would want a tax attorney.
You'd have to have it. Oh, yeah.
A financial advisor.
Absolutely.
A whole slew of professionals.
You got it.
Show me exactly how to cash this in. I would want a lump sum for sure.
Yeah.
What's going to happen with taxes? You might hey, who knows how much higher?
Well, that will be a high income level. You will be a high incomer. You'll be one of the rich.
Tax rich. Well, I'm going to be if I want it, I'm going to be the rich, and I'm not going to want to get taxed.
That's it. Well, good luck.
To you too.
All right, Russ.
Like I said, it was just I wanted to make sure that I'm sure there's a bunch of us out here that over the years I go back to trade line before.
Oh yeah.
When you had trade line, and then there were and one thing I do miss those cooking shows. I love listening to
listen to the missus, huh? Well, it's funny because
I'm going to call her on that too. So.
Yeah, we had there were lots of discussions. Everything in almost anything in life runs its course. And so that was its time had come for a lot of reasons, but it was one of the great highlights of my career. I loved doing it. I loved my co-hosts with Sue Smith and Ann Williams. And
I love to cook. I love to eat.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun,
I find eating a necessity, actually.
Yeah. So
all right.
But I just wanted to, I thought that,
appreciate it.
Not a sewer. Well, if it's sewer, maybe it's one of those fun ones,
There you go.
Used to have in playground.
Yeah. Then we're a bunch of sewer rats. I know.
Exactly.
All right.
You take
Good
care.
enough, Russ. Thanks. Bye-bye. Let's talk to Mark in Midland today. Mark, good morning.
Good morning, Ed. How are you, sir?
We're doing well, thanks.
Platform that you give everyone out there to speak their minds and form opinions. A lot of politicians listen to the program as well, since they are on your program. So I think our opinions out here kind of shape their opinion as well.
Mm-hmm.
But that being said, I did an experiment for Halloween.
Oh.
I got a bunch of ramen noodles versus candy. Didn't say anything. Just had a big box in one hand and a bowl in another hand. Ramen noodles go.
So what did they take?
Kids were screaming. The ramen noodles went quick.
That's funny.
The older kids were screaming or hollering in the neighborhood, "He's got ramen!"
Well, you know what? I have to admit, if you open our pantry, there's ramen in there because every now and then it's the easiest thing to do for lunch. Pop a bag and ready to go.
Sure. Yeah.
But you know what's funny about the ramen noodle you buy in the store is absolutely nothing like the ramen noodle you'd buy in a ramen noodle restaurant. Not even close.
Well, they make it fresh, don't they?
Oh, they make it fresh. They make the broth. The broth is the key. They put all kinds of different things in it. And when you order in a ramen noodle restaurant, you can select the items in it. You can select your type of broth. I mean, it's phenomenal. and it doesn't resemble those little bags in any way, shape, or form. But they're still good. Don't get me wrong, but they're different. They become
So
Americanized.
Do you think November 9th should be Allegation End Day? Should be National Allegation End Day?
I don't think you have to name it because that's what'll happen. Well, no, it won't. You know, I'll tell you what. I'll tell you why it won't. Because what's going to happen, and this is one of my fears, I don't like this, but it's going to happen. Let us assume for a moment the Republicans take control of the House. They are going to do exactly what the Democrats have tried to do to them. They're going to come after them with investigations and one after another. So allegation day wouldn't work. It's going to continue.
Well, if you're referring to the Biden,
well, that's one.
Biden laptop.
Yeah, but that's one.
There's hard evidence there. I mean,
yeah, I know that, but
laptop.
that's not my point. The point is, for example, I've heard calls to impeach Joe Biden. Come on. In the same way that I said that a past president shouldn't be impeached, neither should he. That's ridiculous. And yet you're going to hear those calls. And it's too bad that we've gotten down to that point where we can't simply sit down and discuss the needs of the country in a civil way, come up with good ideas and vote on it. We just don't do it anymore. It's too bad.
That's politics.
You got it. That's it.
Yeah.
All right.
All righty, my friend.
Good enough. Thanks, Mark. Bye-bye now. We'll take a break. Come back. We'll get to Earl when we return.
At Consumers Energy, we're harnessing the power of the sun to create a cleaner energy future for Michigan. By 2040, solar energy will provide most of the electricity we deliver to our customers. That's good for the planet and your pocketbook. But we can't get there without your help. We're searching for large parcels of land in Michigan to build solar power plants. If you have a site for us to consider, visit consumersenergy.com/MISolar.
Kristen McDonald Rivet's allies were caught red-handed lying about Annette Glenn. The facts? A Michigan news outlet reported, quote, a TV station took the rare move of removing an ad attacking Miss Glenn because the ad was proven to be false. The truth? Big spending politicians created record inflation and cratered our economy. Michigan families pay the price. Radical Kristen McDonald Rivet supports the Biden-Pelosi trillion-dollar spending bill that would crush Michigan families, making inflation so much worse. And she voted to give herself a taxpayer-funded pay raise. These taxes on us. Soaring inflation, rampant spending, a destroyed economy. They spend, you pay. The Biden-Pelosi Rivet way. Kristen McDonald Rivet, radical and wrong for Michigan. Paid for with regulated funds by the Senate Republican Campaign Committee. Authorized by Annette Glenn for State Senate.
Want to pay less for gas? Stop at any one of your local 26 Forward Shell convenience stores where you'll save at least 5 cents a gallon on every fill-up with Shell Fuel Rewards. Earn even more cents off when you make purchases in-store on some of your favorite snacks and drinks. Stack the savings and you get 20, 30 cents or more off each gallon of gas. That's Fuel Rewards and your area Forward Shell convenience stores. And remember, when you want to pay less at the pump, go forward.
You want to be a showstopper like The Miz? You want to be awesome? Then you'll want to have a game plan. Whether you're a champion or a bettor, you've got to be responsible. The DraftKings Sportsbook offers all the tools you need. You can set a realistic budget and bet within your means. You can set time, deposit, and wager limits so you can have a personal game plan for having fun while being responsible. I practice safe bets, and so should you. Visit DraftKings.com/ to learn about all these tools and more.
Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/responsible gaming for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources.
RocketGrabPlus.com. Why would you pay full price when you know that you can save money at RocketGrabPlus.com? Check out our deals going on right now from Kokomo's Family Fun Center, Westside Decorating, Third Gen Tire and Service Center, Applied Training Solutions, and Style Encore. Half off? Yeah, it's true. And it's all at RocketGrabPlus.com.
RocketGrabPlus.com. Aw, honey, I can't believe you gave me toe fungus.
I was so embarrassed. Toe fungus for the third time.
Even after all the treatments I tried, all the money I spent, now my family was also dealing with this nasty problem. My doctor then told me that toe fungus is not just a cosmetic problem and that it can spread and get worse. He introduced me to a new and different routine that flushes out even the most difficult cases of fungus. It's called Crystal Flush. After just 3 minutes each day, my toes were looking better and better until the fungus was completely gone. Just imagine finally winning the battle against yellow, crumbly toes and being able to go to the pool or beach in total confidence. Call now, and for a limited time, you can try Crystal Flush risk-free for 30 days. Call 800-675 That's 800-675-9431. Try it now risk-free. Call now, 800-675-9431, or visit crystalflush.com.
He's going to go down the near sideline, and it's caught. Isaiah Malcolm, touchdown, Saginaw Valley.
After a heartbreaking loss against Davenport, the SVSU Cardinals will regroup and refocus when they travel to Marquette for a Saturday afternoon showdown against Northern Michigan at 12:30 p.m. on 100.5 FM News Radio WSGW. SVSU football is brought to you by Westside Decorating Center, Mercantile Bank, Jake and Nathan Neurosurgery, United Financial Credit Union, A+ Plumbing, and Forward Energy.
Saginaw Valley State University football on You are with WSGW in the premier kitchen and bath gallery showroom and design center studios.
All right, we're back with you here at WSGW, and we continue on. We have Errol in Saginaw. Errol, good morning.
You know, what is in a bad career you've had? That's only the second person I've seen you banned. And I think the other one's back when Bruce Williams was on your station. That's not a bad career, sir.
Not bad.
Now, what would I do with all this money? I'm not sure whether I would make my name public for a number of reasons.
Well, you don't have a choice.
Okay.
State of Michigan, you do not have a choice. Other states you do, but not in Michigan. You have to be identified.
Okay.
Sorry.
I remember a TV show called The Millionaire.
Oh, I remember that.
I always thought it would really be nice to be that and just help people out, but you'd have someone working for them.
Cool idea.
I thought maybe I could keep my name off of it because if I didn't, everyone on Cape Breton Island would be sending me a note saying that we're related. And have you ever been there?
Oh, many times. I've been to Cape Breton probably 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, okay. Did you see the cemetery that's got my last name on 2 cemeteries full of us?
No, I missed that one.
Down at Cape North.
I'll have to go back and look.
Would be overseas. But anyways, yeah, it would be nice to help out. I'd love to be able to help out people without them knowing who gave it.
Well, you could do that.
Way.
You have to be identified when you claim the prize, but once you have the money and you want to start handing it out anonymously, well, that's fine.
Yeah. Oh, yes. And the first thing I would do with the money is buy myself an A-10 Warthog. I don't know how to fly it, but it's my favorite airplane.
The ugliest airplane there is, but it's a neat one.
I don't know how you find someone to my age, but it's a single seater. But I can wish.
All right. Good enough, Earl.
See you later.
Take care. Bye-bye now. Paul in Saginaw. Paul, good morning.
Morning, Art. In yesterday's local newspaper, there was in the food section, they had a picture and a recipe for peanut butter pancakes, and it looks so good.
Ooh.
The picture. I just wonder if anybody has ever tried it. Rosa Parks supposedly wrote the recipe on the back of a bank envelope in Detroit.
Wow.
She was living there.
And worth trying.
So good. Yeah, and I was wondering if anybody has tried it and how it tastes.
Don't know.
It looks so good. I try it.
Yeah, be worth trying.
And,
make it. You got the recipe?
yeah.
Go ahead and make it.
Yeah, they printed the recipe in the newspaper.
Well, go ahead and make it then and see what you think.
Yeah.
Let us know.
Yeah.
All right.
You haven't had one?
I have
Or
not.
heard anybody?
No, do not know anybody that's tried one. I've not. It's not that I haven't heard of them. I've heard of pancakes with peanut butter and all kinds of stuff in them, but I've never tried them. So
I haven't either.
All right.
It looks so good. I'm going to try it.
Good enough.
All right.
Take care.
Okay.
Bye-bye, Paul.
All right. Bye-bye.
And Bill in Saginaw Township. Bill, good morning.
Good morning, sir. I just want to
in one fell swoop cancel out all the negative connotations about your show. I'm just finishing up my Nielsen diary.
I can't talk about it. Stop. I'm going to stop you right there, only because we can't talk about that. We're not allowed to talk about it. It's against the rules of the survey company, and there's some federal rules on it too. So while I appreciate what you're saying, it can't be a discussion.
Can I just use one word?
What's that?
Favorable.
Okay, that's fine, but I can't talk about it. That's the end of it. I'm sorry, and understand, I wish I could, but the rules are such that we're not allowed to talk about that. So I fully appreciate your support, though.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Hey, a little bit of levity.
Yep.
Do you know the difference between a horse race and a political race?
Horse race and a political race. What's the difference?
The difference is that in a horse race, the entire horse runs.
Oh, that is funny. That is very, very good. Excellent. All right, Bill. Appreciate it. Have a good one. Bye-bye. We're going to take a pause. We'll be back. We'll get to Chris in Midland when we return.
I'm Jacob Hilliker, Bay County Road Commissioner. I believe we deserve more local road funding for the amount of taxes we pay downstate. We all know working people in Bay County have always had to shout a little louder to be heard in Lansing. That's why I'm here. I'm a proud union member, business owner, and I operate a small farm. I don't have time for the national partisan nonsense of the week. I'm here to do a job. Vote Hilliker. Paid for by Jacob Hilliker for Bay County.
You want to be a showstopper like The Miz? You want to be awesome? Then you'll want to have a game plan. Whether you're a champ, be responsible. The DraftKings Sportsbook offers all the tools you need. You can set a realistic budget and bet within your means. You can set time, deposit, and wager limits so you can have a personal game plan for having fun while being responsible. I practice safe bets, and so should you. Visit DraftKings.com/responsible-gaming to learn about all these tools and more.
Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/responsible gaming for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources.
Hi, this is Joe Cordell with the law firm Cordell & Cordell. Divorce can be complicated, especially if children are involved. If you're a father and want to protect your role in your children's lives, remember Cordell & Cordell. We've helped men with matters like these for 30 years, and we'd love to help you.
Contact Cordell & Cordell to schedule an appointment with one of our firm's Detroit area attorneys, a partner men can count on. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor. Online at CordellCordell.com. That's CordellCordell.com.
Finding the right Medicare plan? Oof, no easy feat. Kind of like those dances my granddaughter loves making me do. But then I found Walgreens FindRx coverage. Lets you compare plans online, over the phone, or in person. Made Medicare shopping so easy. Plus, I found plans with low-cost copays. I can get down with that. Medicare annual enrollment. Find a plan that's right for you at walgreens.com/Medicare.
Do you know what people see when they Google you? Search engines don't always get it right. And when they're wrong, it's your reputation on the line. So what do you do when you don't agree with your search results? Call Reputation Defender at 800-401-6681. Reputation Defender by Norton is one of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. We have over a decade of experience in fixing people's search results, and we can help you too. Using cutting-edge approaches, Reputation Defender pushes unflattering information down to lower where few people ever look. We also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, letting you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. You owe it to yourself to take control with Reputation Defender. Visit www.reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 for free advice on your situation. 800-401-6681. That's 800-401-6681.
The WSGW Morning Team.
We're officially welcoming Denise into the newsroom and the morning team. Denise Shannon did have one person question the spelling of Denise. Denyse. Most people I would say probably would say ISE.
I have had people say, you spell your name wrong. My parents picked my name, and my mom went to have me baptized. The priest wouldn't baptize me unless she changed the spelling of my name, because evidently there's a saint named. And I found out since then that it doesn't make any difference whether it's an I or a Y, but this guy was just adamant about the fact that she needed to change my name. So she did. It was changed from an I to a Y.
Well, thank you for listening.
Like yeah. A couple of times I've heard people just say, why do you spell your name wrong? Because I can.
Art Lewis is called in.
I wanted to welcome Denise to the family.
The Morning Team, weekdays 5:30 till 9 on WSGW.
All right, we're back. It's the Art Lewis Show, and Chris is in Midland, so that's where we go next. Chris, good morning to you.
Hello.
Hello.
I haven't been listening in a long time.
I missed you. You disappeared on me, Chris.
Okay, am I back?
You're back now, yes.
I haven't been listening for a while. Where's Dave?
Dave left 2 weeks ago, I think. It was his final broadcast. And
okay. Did he retire on his own, or was he?
Yeah, I guess. As far as I know, I mean, I heard nothing about it till it happened. So I don't know.
Okay.
But as far as I know, he left on his own. So
okay. I mean,
he had a very long and outstanding career, including the Hall of Fame, and a terrific broadcaster, a great colleague for many, many decades. So I wish him only the best.
Okay, well, good. I mean, I like I said, I've been out of the loop, and I'm hoping nothing catastrophic occurred. And
nothing catastrophic that I know of.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, well, that's good news. All right. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, you're welcome, Chris. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye now. Line's open for you. Now, I pulled a couple articles. I haven't gotten to them yet because we had so many calls, but this one, the headline, caught my attention because I'm sort of a foodie. Inflation, here's the headline. Inflation is making pizza more appealing this Thanksgiving. Think about that. Thanksgiving dinner is going to cost you more. Turkeys are more expensive this year. All the other things are more expensive this year. And so we, the people, are looking for other ways to celebrate. Well, not everybody. I will pay the long dollar to have Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving dinner is one of my favorite dinners all year for a couple of reasons. One, I like the food. I like the combination of turkey and dressing and cranberry sauce and green beans and various kinds of potato casseroles, what have you. It's one of my favorite meals all year long. And so I will spend the longer dollar to make sure I still have Thanksgiving. The other reason I like it so much is you spend it with family. And this year, one of the rare opportunities we have of not having to host it, we're going down to our son's house for Thanksgiving. But apparently bird flu has reduced the stock of turkeys. Vegetable yields are down because of droughts out in California, labor shortages, and turkeys around the country now cost about $1.99 a pound in parts of the country, when usually you buy them for what? 39 cents, 59 cents, 79 cents a pound. Last year, they were averaged $1.15 a pound. Now they're $1.99, according to the USDA. Fruit and vegetables up 19%, butter up 27%, potatoes up 18%. So people are thinking, we'll just order a pizza. I'm sorry. Unless they start making pizza with turkey stuffing, cranberry sauce on it, I'm not buying it. But you listen, I understand. There are people who will not have a traditional Thanksgiving dinner this year because of the cost. And I'll tell you something my wife has done in the past. And if you can afford this, God bless you. My wife, particularly at this time of year, will go shopping for our groceries and all of that. And she will observe people trying to buy like a turkey and things of that nature. And if she senses that that person is going to have a problem paying for it and have to decide what to take and not take, she will pay it forward. And I'll tell you what, I love her for it. She's probably bought a lot of turkeys in her lifetime for people. And many times, the recipients don't want to accept it because of either shame or what have you. And my wife has to talk to them and say, look, this is just what I want to do for you. And eventually, hopefully, they accept the fact that somebody else has given them a good holiday. So the next time you're out and about and you see somebody struggling to buy all the groceries on the counter and have to decide what they can afford, what they can't afford, think about paying it forward. People were doing that in restaurants for a long time. I can remember we were in a restaurant and we finished our meal and I asked the waitress for the check and she said, no, there is no check. I said, what do you mean? She said, well, some couple who left already paid for your meal. And we didn't need it. We could pay our own. So what we did, the money that we would have spent on our meal, we looked around the restaurant, gave the waitress that money, and said, after we leave, pay their check. So we paid it forward. You remember Jason Lamb, the young man that died of cancer, and they had the pay it forward thing? Started the trend all over the place. They're absolutely right. When you do that, when you pay it forward, it gives you a tremendous feeling. I can't explain it, but you feel good because you've done something to help someone else. And you've done it without being asked. You've done it because you think it was the right thing to do. God bless everybody that does it. And there are people that still do it. My wife still does it. And it's just, it's, you know, it really is who we are as a people. Put aside politics and all the garbage out there and everything else going on. Fact is, there are many, many good people in this country. And it helps when you look out for somebody else. Take our last break, come back and close out the show.
The Maytag Store VIP sale is back, and it's bigger than ever. You're invited to attend this 2-day only sales event with one-of-a-kind deals you won't find anywhere else. Take advantage of the better than Black Friday prices. November 1st and 2nd only. They've got special offers on GE, Speed Queen, Maytag, Whirlpool, KitchenAid, and Amana appliances. And they'll even be paying your sales tax on in-stock items. These prices are better than Black Friday. You don't want to miss this sale, November 1st and 2nd only. The sale is so big, it needs 2 days and all 3 stores, including the outlet store, which will be paying your sales tax all day. Shop the Maytag Store VIP sale, November 1st and 2nd only at all 3 locations. 3800 Tittabawassee in Saginaw, 477 North Main Street in Frankenmuth, and the outlet store at 7400 Gratiot Road in Shields for the biggest sale of the year.
The Maytag Store. Here's the deal. I've had constipation with belly pain, discomfort, and bloating for years. I've tried a lot of laxatives and fiber supplements, but my symptoms keep coming back.
You could have a chronic condition called irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C. Linzess, or linaclotide, is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. Linzess works differently than frequent and complete bowel movements, and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2 years old. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. There could be more to your story with IBS-C. Talk to a doctor today. Say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS. Sponsored by Avian Iron.
All right, that brings it to an end, the Art Lewis Show for this Wednesday morning. Thank you for joining us. Stick around. We're going to take a look on focus at Rocket Grab Plus and some of the great deals that are available for you to save lots of money. That will be coming up right after the news, which is next here on WSGW.
From the Premier Kitchen and Bath Gallery Studios, WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW FM, Carlton.
CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by General Steel.
I'm Steve Kathan. Chaos and anguish front and center in newly disclosed 911 calls from last May's school massacre in Uvalde, Texas. Some were made by children inside classrooms under siege. Some of the material is disturbing.
Uvalde County 911. Child is advising he is in the room full of victims. He's inside the school shooting at the kids.
The recordings obtained by the Texas Tribune and ProPublica, families of some of the 19 children killed in the attack rallied outside night to demand tougher gun laws. The Federal Reserve is expected to hike interest rates by 0.75 percentage point later today, doing what it has done a handful of times over the past year in a bid to cool inflation. CBS's Nancy Chen says that'll likely mean more stress for home buyers and sellers with mortgage rates above 7% and rising.
Stacey Esser is a realtor in the New Jersey area.
We've never seen interest rates in basically 1 year go from 2.5% to 7%.
Esser says this kind of volatility is causing deals to fall through.
A buyer might have a pre-approval at a certain rate, get an accepted bid, and then the interest rate and all of a sudden they can't afford that same house.
About 60,000 deals have been canceled so far this year, the highest share on record since the start of the pandemic. And new listings are down about 19% from a year ago.
Overseas, North Korea fired more than 23 missiles today, at least one landing in the water near a sea border with South Korea. Seoul responded with its own missile tests. Asia correspondent Elizabeth Palmer.
Analysts and my diplomatic sources say that there's no reason to think tension on the Korean Peninsula is going to diminish anytime soon. In fact, to expect that North Korea may escalate with an underground nuclear weapons test sometime quite soon.
The White House condemned North Korea's barrage, with an official accusing the country of covertly supplying Russia with artillery shells for use in Ukraine. New Twitter boss Elon Musk today pledged that banned accounts will not be reinstated right away. CNET's Ian Scher says decisions might come from a company panel being formed.
It's clear that Elon Musk sees that there is a threat to allowing just mass groups of people who've already been kicked off the platform for hateful speech, violence, or whatever else, suddenly back there to cause more.
Right now, the Dow is down 88 points. This is CBS News.
If you're a business owner, you can save a ton of money on a custom-designed building made by General Steel. Just call 888-74-STEEL and get a quote today.
Hi, I'm Tom Kreitler, host of the Money Pit Home Improvement Show. If you think you need a new roof, think again. You can avoid replacement and save thousands with RoofMax, the world's first roof rejuvenation treatment. RoofMax is a safe, easy, and affordable alternative to costly asphalt roof replacement, and it's guaranteed. So don't replace RoofMax.
RoofMax, a safe, easy, proven, affordable alternative to expensive replacement. Call Ben today at 859-6751 or go to GetRoofMax.com for a free quote.
If you're in a room with 4 other people, chances are one of you has already been an identity theft victim. 1 in 5. Watching your accounts and credit isn't enough. It can be dangerously easy to steal your identity. LifeLock by Norton makes it easy to help protect yourself. If you become a victim, LifeLock will work to fix it. Nobody can prevent all identity theft, but everyone can save up to 25% on their first year with promo code BECK at LifeLock.com. Promo code BECK, save 25% off your first year.
Wes, the best product I bought this is Salon Paws pain relieving patches. The proven medicines in Salon Paws patches reduce my pain and let me do the things I need to do every day.
In a recent clinical study, patients using Salon Paws reported improved sleep, mood, and the ability to work. They had less pain and were able to oral pain medications.
For pain, I use Salon Paws. It's good medicine.
When the forgotten poor are in need of healing, they wait for a ship unlike any other. Mercy Ships, a floating hospital staffed by volunteers, heroes of mercy who donate their lives.
Every human has the right to have a place at the table of the human race.
If you could just see the smiles that you get when lives have been changed, then it would make it all worth it.
To learn more about Heroes of Mercy, go to mercyships.org.
Live. 5 and 790 Newsroom. This is WSGW News.
Sunny skies and 50 degrees at 11:05. Good morning, I'm Mike Percha. A Pinconning man has died after a skid steer accident. Police responded to a report of someone trapped at the Ascension St. Joseph's maintenance garage around 9:30 Thursday morning. Reportedly, 30-year-old Cody Wilbur and a co-worker had been working on the skid steer, and Wilbur had moved the bucket to gain access to a bolt. Police say when Wilbur began to climb out, the bucket fell on him, pinning him to the machine. Hospital staff broke a window on the skid steer to access his controls and free Wilbur, then began CPR. He was rushed to the St. Joseph's Emergency Department, where he was pronounced dead. The incident is currently under investigation by the Michigan Occupational Safety and Health Administration. Community members are invited to attend the annual Dow Gardens Christmas Walk, where My Michigan Home Care will celebrate Stars in the Gardens. The special holiday tribute event takes place from 5 to 7:30 p.m. on December 8th through the 10th and 15th through the 17th. The hillside of softly glowing luminaries resting outside the entrance of the Dow Gardens provides a peaceful opportunity to reflect and remember loved ones and friends. A contribution of $25 or more to the My Michigan Health Foundation enables individuals to honor family and friends, living and deceased, with a handcrafted porcelain. For information or donations, contact the My Michigan Health Foundation at 989-839-1932 or visit mymichigan.org/starsinthegardens. In preparation for Veterans Day this month, the Saginaw County Courthouse will be illuminated with green lighting from November 7th to the 13th. The display is part of Operation Green Light, a new collaborative effort for the National Association of Counties in support of military veterans. Saginaw County is also encouraging residents and businesses to participate by changing a single light bulb out for a green one during this time. According to officials, the initiative is a way for the community to express appreciation for veterans and their service. In news time, 11:07.
This is the Michigan Corn Connection with Corn Marketing Program of Michigan Executive Director Jim Zook, who says work continues on growing demand for ethanol.
We're actually working with many other partners. It could be partners in EPA, the auto industries, the airline industries, the petroleum industries. We work across the board in order to make sure that we can get ethanol included into those fuels. We look for where those trends are. We look for what the products are, and we try to address any barriers to entry of those products. The checkoff program is extremely important for our growers. Without that, nobody these markets for our corn, and that's why it's important to keep the corn checkoff program going, and especially when we have renewal votes coming up. This is the program that helps get you the extra dollars that you need to stay profitable.